Sixth grade, Module 6, Lesson 14, Problem Set. Number 1, dot plots for the amount of time it took students in Mr. S's and Miss J's classes to get to the school are below. A, make a box plot for the times for each class. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to list, in order from least to greatest, all of the different times that it took everyone to get to school for Mrs. S class, and then I'm going to do the same thing for Miss J's class, so that then we can go forward with finding the median and the different quartiles and minimum and maximum. I'll be back after I do that. All right, I have listed out all of Mr. S's class and all of Miss J's class. I listed them all out, all of the different dots on the dot plot. So now we can go forward. Let's find the min, the max, quartile 1, quartile 3, and the median for both. So the minimum for Mr. S is 5 and the max is 60. Let's find the median. So I'm going to cross out and do 4. It's going to take me a while to get to the middle. Let's do 3 this time. All right, we're working our way in. So our median is 15. That middle number there is 15. So let's find quartile 1 and quartile 3. So quartile 1 is 10 and 3, so we're basically just finding the middle of the second half. So 1, 2, 3, just finding the middle number here, which is 25. So now we have all the numbers we need to make our box plot. I'm going to go ahead and do Miss J's class, and then we can make both box plots. So again, we have minimum and maximum. Then we have median in the middle, quartile 1, quartile 3. So the minimum is 6 and the maximum is 40. Let's find the median. Just do one at a time now, and we get 20 as the median. Now let's find the median of the upper half, or the lower half, or the quartile 1. So we get right here, which is 16. And let's do quartile 3. So we have in between 26 and 30, which would be 28. So remember, if you're left with 2 numbers in the middle, you just find the middle of those 2 numbers. So in between 26 and 30 is 28. Okay, so now we have all the numbers we need to make our box plots. I'm going to go over here even further and make the plots. So let's do... I'll make 2 different plots. So I'm going to label it as time in minutes. And we range anywhere from, let's see, this one 6 to 40 and this one from 5 to 60. So I'm going to go from 0 to 60. And let's go by 5s. I'm going to start by labeling my median. So my median for, this is Mr. S's class. Mr. S's class. My median is 15. So I'm going to draw a line at 15. So that is the middle of my box plot. It's a little off. I'm going to do it again. I'll do it in red so it stands out a little bit more. 15. Now my quartile 1 is 10, so I'm going to draw another line at 10. And quartile 3 is 25. I'm going to draw a line over here. And then I'm going to make it into a rectangle by connecting them. Now all I have to do is put a dot at my minimum and my maximum. So my minimum was 5. So I'm going to connect it to 5. And my maximum is 60. So all the way over here, I'm just going to draw a line to 60. So there's my box plot for Mr. S's class. Now let's do Miss J's class. So the minimum was 6, or actually let's start with median is 20. Quartile 1 is 16, and 3 is 28. So we have 16, and 28 would be right here. So let's connect those. And then our minimum was 6 and our max is 4. 4D, not 4. So there is Miss J's class, her box plot. So you can compare them and see the difference in the two. So now it says, what is one thing you can see in the dot plot that you cannot see in the box plot? What's something that you easier to see in the box plot than in the dot plot? So the dot plot, what you can see is every single individual time, right? We see that there were 5 people who had 5 minutes and 8 people with 10 minutes, and in Mr. J's class, 1 person with 40 minutes and 3 people with 16 minutes. Whereas on our box plot, you can't see how many are actually at each time. But the box plot shows us the location of the median and the upper and lower quartiles, right? The median and then the upper and lower quartiles, or lower and upper quartiles right there. So it's easier to see the spread of the data exactly where the middle lies. So they both show different things. So let's write that over here. B, let's say the dot plot shows individual times. Which you can't see in the box plot. The box plot shows the location of the median and upper and lower quartiles. Number 2, the dot plot below shows the vertical jump of some NBA players. A vertical jump is how high a player can jump from a standstill. Draw a box plot of the heights for the vertical jumps of the NBA players above the dot plot. Okay, so it wants us to draw a box plot above the dot plot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list out all of the vertical jump heights so that we can find the median and min, max, and the quartiles. Here are all of the vertical heights, jump heights listed out. So let's go ahead and find the, let's see, we need the minimum and the maximum. Then we need the median in the middle. We need quartile 1 and quartile 3. So I'm going to start by crossing out 5 on each side. Now we're getting close, so I'm just going to cross out 2, 2, 1. So the median is 38, which isn't shocking because when you look at the chart, the box plot, 38, there are a lot of 38s pretty much in the middle. So then let's find let's do the minimum was 32 right here, and the maximum is 43. So now let's find quartile 1. So let's find the median of the lower half. Is 37, and quartile 3 is 39. So if we were to draw a box plot, it says draw a box plot above the dot plot. So let's just draw it on top of it. So the median, start with that, is 38. I'm going to draw a line there. The quartile 1 is 37. And quartile 3 was 39. So we can draw our box there. And then the minimum was 43, or 32, and the max is 43. So just draw it out to 43. And then down to 32. So there is our box plot of that data. Number 3, the mean daily temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit for the month of February for a certain city are as follows. All of those temperatures. Make a box plot of the temperatures. So what we would need to do first is list them all in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to do that and come right back. All right, I've listed them out. Honestly, I think this is the hardest, most tedious part, is just taking all of those numbers, there were 28 of them, I counted, and getting them in order from least to greatest, and making sure that you don't skip any, that you don't leave any out, that you don't have too many, too few. So once you get that down, we're good to go. Okay, so we need to find, let's see, the min, the max, the median, quartile 1, and quartile 3. So start with the min and the max. The min is 4, and the max is 39. So let's find the median. There were 28, like I said before, so you could divide by 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14, and then find the 14 and 15th number and split that in half. Let's do that, just so we can show a different strategy. So I'm going to count up. So what I did is there were 28 numbers. Divided by 2 is 14. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So here's the median. So right in the middle of that is going to be 22 and a half. So the median is 22 and a half. So besides, we could have crossed it out and we would have come to this being the middle as well, but I divided it into 2 and got 14. So now let's do the crossing out strategy to find quartile 1 and 3. So, or we could do it again. We know that there's 14. We could divide it by 2. That's 7, so count to find the 7th one. Let's do one strategy on one side and one on the other. So 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's the middle. So in between the middle of 15 and 17 would be 16. So let's just do the cross out method over here. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So in between 29 and 30 would be 29 and a half. So either way, either method works. Okay, we need to make the dot plot. So we go min is 4, max is 39. So let's go from 0 to 40. I'm going to count by 5s. And label it daily temps. This is mean temps in degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so the min is 4. Actually, let's start with median. 22 and a half would be right in the middle of 20 and 25. And then quartile 3 is 29 and a half. So almost to 30. And quartile 1 is 16, so right after 15. So I'll make my box, and then my minimum was 4. My max is 39. So there is my box plot. And if your teacher is working and asks you for your 5-number summary, 5-number summary is just these 5 numbers. Would be, you just list these 4, 16, 22 and a half, 29 and a half, and 39. So if you're ever asked for your 5-number summary, it's just these 5 numbers. B, make a prediction about what part of the United States you think this city might be located. Explain your reasoning. So looking at the temperatures here, the median is 22 and a half. That's cold, right? 22 and a half degrees. That's below freezing. It's probably snowing a lot. The max is 39. The min is 4. So I think that this is probably a city in the north. Maybe, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, and it rarely even gets this cold. So probably more northern than southern Ohio, maybe like, I don't know, Minnesota, Michigan, something like that. This seems like a cold winter. So make a prediction. So I'm going to say north, very cold winter. C, describe the temperature data distribution. Include a description of the center and spread. So we can just say that we just want to describe the temperature distribution. So let's say that the median is 22 and a half. The quarter of the temperatures were less than 16 degrees. Quartile 2, more than half of the temperatures were less than 22 and a half. More than half were greater than 22 and a half. The middle half, you could say, was between 16 and 29 degrees, 29 and a half degrees. There's a lot of different things that you can use to explain the spread. So you're just talking about the info in the data. So just use some of those talking points to describe the data. And then number 4, the box plot below summarizes the data from a survey of households about the number of dogs they have. Identify each of the following statements as true or false. Explain your reasoning in each case. So they've already given us the box plot. We need to say whether these statements are true or false. A, the maximum number of dogs per house is 8. So it's saying the max is 8. So this right here represents the max. Is it 8? Yes. So this would be true. Does it say explain your reasoning? True. The top of the line segment goes to 8. at least half of the houses have 2 or more dogs. Okay, so at least half, meaning we're looking for the median. So here's the median. So this means that half are that way. Or is that 2? 2 or more. So yes, that would be true. So true because 2 is the median. Okay, let's see. All of the houses have dogs. So do all of the houses have dogs? I'm going to say no because the min right here is 0. So someone, since the line goes all the way down here, that means there's some data here at 0. So that's going to be false because the minimum is 0. So someone has 0. D, half of the houses surveyed have between 2 and 4 dogs. So half of the houses surveyed have between 2, here 2, and 4 dogs right here. So this part right here represents quartile 3. So that is only representing 1 quartile or 1/4 of the data. So that's false, not half, only 1/4. So let's say false. Because only 1/4 of the data, or of the houses, have between 2 and 4 dogs. E, most of the houses surveyed have no dogs. So would most of the houses surveyed have no dogs? I'm going to go with false because 0 is just the minimum. I would say most of them have at least 1 dog. So let's say false. It's really like here's 1, that's quartile 1. So quartile 2, 3, and 4, all of these quartiles are houses with dogs. So at least 3/4 of the houses have dogs. One or more.